students. Welcome to today's class. Okay. So today we will discuss about the MOSFETs. Okay. MOSFETs and some basic topics, some small topics regarding FETs. Because yesterday we have learned only about the operation of FETs, the characteristics, etc., the drain and transfer characteristics. So today we will learn the applications, the classification, like the differences between N channel and P channel FET, etc. After finishing all those few topics of FETs, then we will move on to MOSFETs. Okay. So I want to give a brief, we will just take a 5 minutes review of yesterday's session. Okay. So what are the three different regions in the FET characteristics? Can anybody answer me? Is my voice audible? What are the three regions that we have described in the drain characteristics of FET? Okay, if it is audible, then please answer my question. Like just discussion, like review kind of thing. So I'll ask a few questions. Please answer so that I'll know that you people have understood it better. Okay, so what are the three regions that are mentioned or that are called in the drain characteristics of FET? Yes, ohmic region, saturation region, okay, pinch-off region, and one more. In saturation only we call it as pinch-off exist, and breakdown is also there. Okay. Next, in which region FET can be used as voltage variable resistor? Okay, very good, ma. Ohmic region, saturation region, and breakdown region. Yes. Okay, in ohmic region, FETs can be used as voltage variable resistor. Very good. Now, can you please tell me in which region FET can be used as an amplifier? In which region FET can be used as an amplifier? I'll not take much time, just 5 to 6 minutes. Then after that, we will start today's class. Okay, very good. Saturation region. Okay. Next. Okay, saturation or pinch off. Pinch off also exists in saturation only, no problem. Okay, now next question. In breakdown, which kind of breakdown mechanism undergoes? Like FET undergoes which kind of breakdown mechanism? Is it avalanche? Yeah, it is avalanche. Very good. And next, we are discussing right from past 1 or 2 classes that FET is a voltage controlled device. So which voltage it is controlling what? Which voltage? There are two voltages, VGS and VDS, which is controlling the output current. Now, which voltage? Which is the controlling voltage? VGS. Very good. Yes. VGS might is. VDS is the voltage that is driving the output current. But if you want to control that output current, we need to give VGS. VGS is the controlling voltage or input voltage. Okay. Okay, ma. So it's fine. Very good. Everyone has given the answers. Good. Now today we will see the rest of the topics of FET, and then we will move on to the MOSFET concepts. Okay. Before starting MOSFET, see there is another topic that are to be discussed in JFET. That is the characteristic parameters of JFET. Okay, so there are 4 to 5 parameters that are need to be considered in JFET device. Okay, the first one is mutual conductance or transconductance, which is represented as GM. Okay, it is the slope of the transfer characteristic curve, and it is defined by GM is equal to, it is the partial differentiation like differentiation dou ID by dou VGS at VDS constant, by maintaining the drain to source voltage constant, the ratio of ID by VGS. Okay, and it can also be written as delta ID by delta VGS at VDS held constant. See the definition it is a ratio of a small change in the drain current to the corresponding small change in the gate voltage at a constant drain voltage. The change in ID by VGS should be taken on a straight path of the transfer characteristics, and it has the units of conductance in mho. Yes, conductance is nothing but the opposite of resistance. So resistance we have the unit as ohm. So it is, since it is a reciprocal of resistance, conductance, the unit is mho. The next parameter is drain resistance. The next parameter is drain resistance RD. It is the reciprocal of the slope of the drain characteristics and is defined by RD is equal to dou VDS by dou ID at VGS constant. Okay, it is V by I resistance, it is nothing but the drain resistance. Okay, so VDS by ID when VGS is held constant. And the definition of this is, it is the ratio of a small change in the drain voltage to the corresponding small change in the drain current at a constant gate voltage, and it has the unit of resistance in ohms. See, you might have a doubt why we need to study all these things. These are the parameters regarding defining the performance of JFET, and this is like a direct question, so I am not giving any much explanation about this. You need to learn as it is and write it in your exam. It will be a direct question. Just state and explain the characteristic parameters of JFET. Okay, so important and easy question. Okay, so just learn the formulas, and in short answer question you may get this question. And the third parameter is amplification factor mu. It is defined by mu is equal to minus dou IDS by dou VGS, maintaining ID constant, which is equal to del minus del VDS by del VGS, ID held constant. This is the equation, and the definition is, it is the ratio of a small change in the drain voltage to the corresponding small change in the gate voltage at a constant drain current. Here the negative sign shows that when VGS is increased, VDS must be decreased for ID to remain constant. Okay. And the fourth parameter is the relationship among all these FET parameters. See here, till now we have three parameters. What is the first one? GM, that is transconductance. Second is RD, drain resistance. Third is amplification factor mu. Now the fourth one defines the relation between all these three parameters, that is mu, GM and RD. See, as ID depends on VDS and VGS, the functional equation can be expressed as ID is equal to function of VDS comma VGS. Okay, means ID is depending upon the voltages VDS and VGS. So it is taken as the function of VDS and VGS. Next, if the drain voltage is changed by a small amount from VDS to VDS plus delta VDS, that is VDS is the actual voltage VDS is the actual voltage. Now if there is a small increase in VDS, that is represented as the change in VDS, that is del VDS, and the gate voltage is changed by a small amount from VGS to VGS plus del VGS, then the corresponding small change in ID may be obtained by applying Taylor's theorem with neglecting higher order terms. Thus the small change delta ID is given by, now substitute Substituting this in the equation in the function. So del id is equal to dou id by dou vds at vgs held constant into del vds plus dou id by dou vgs into at vds held constant into vgs, and dividing both sides by this of this equation by del vgs, we get, dividing all these three terms id, the second term and the third term by del vgs, we get del id by del vgs is equal to dou id by dou vds. Since it is del vds by del vgs, so it is also taken as a term, and the third term dou id by dou vgs is written as it is, and here this term del vgs by, it is again divided by del vgs, so this gets cancelled. Okay, so the term is not appeared here. Next, if id is constant, because when we increase vds to a certain level, after that pinch off, even though if you increase your vds, id will be held constant. So if we consider that region, then if id is constant, then del id by del vgs is equal to 0. So this LHS term becomes 0. You are left out with only the three terms of RHS, which is equated to 0. Then substituting the values of partial differential coefficients, we get. Now see here, this term, all these three terms are nothing but our mu, gm and rd. If you observe carefully, what is gm? Gm is del id by del vgs. So it is taken as the partial differentiation term. Okay, so small change. So dou id by dou vds, and next del vds by del vgs. Del vds by del vgs is nothing but your mu term, and it is taken as minus mu, and the third term is rd, 1 by rd it is. Okay, so same thing it is written here. If you observe, 0 is equal to 1 by rd into minus mu plus gm. So if you just take the terms, equate the equation, then you will get mu is equal to gm into rd. See here, this term is very, very, very important for your MCQs, objective examinations, or mid examinations, whatever it is. This mu is equal to gm into rg, mu is equal to rd into gm is very, very important relationship with respect to FET topic. Okay, you should remember this, and this is a small derivation to derive that mu is equal to gm into rd. Okay, and all these 5 parameters you need to learn carefully. Nothing derive in this. Okay, or not, nothing any concept wise. Okay, simply remember the equations and write down this answer. Okay, and the last one is power dissipation. The FET's continuous power dissipation PD. The power dissipation of a FET is represented as PD, is the product of id and vds. So power is equal to P is equal to V into Vi. P into I. V into I. P is equal to V into I. Okay. So this is one topic. Parameters of FET. And next one is, we will see the applications of FET. So advantages of FET, already we have seen, we have many advantages of FET. So applications is also an important question for your exams. You may get in short answer type. I am talking short answers type in the sense I am talking about external examination, your final examination. And in mids also you may get. Okay. So whatever questions I am telling, I am talking with respect to external examination. Okay, make a note of it. So applications of FET. So what is the first advantages of FET? That is, it has high input impedance and low output impedance. Yes, this high input impedance is because of the reverse bias at the input junction. So it is used as a buffer in measuring instruments and receivers. Okay, and second one is FET has low noise operation. So it is used in RF amplifiers. Yes, amplifier should be, the noise should be very, very low. Okay, we can't make it 0 ideally, but we can reduce that noise by changing the devices. If you use BJT as an amplifier, the noise level will be more. So that's why we are going for FET, whose noise levels are very low as compared to BJT. So in amplifiers, we generally prefer FET instead of BJT. And in communications, all these are in communications, and RF amplifiers in FM tuners and communication equipment. Yes. So FM tuners are generally used in TVs and okay. There also it is used. And next is FET has low input capacitance, so it is used in cascade amplifiers in measuring and testing equipment. Okay, and since FET is a voltage control device, it is used as a voltage variable resistor in operational amplifiers and tone controls. See, some of the terms are new to you, ma'am. These operational amplifiers, communication equipment, measuring instruments, because all these are the communication terms. But don't worry, just remember this, whatever you know. And generally it is used as an amplifier. It is mostly used in communication equipments only, instruments, electronic devices. Okay, so you remember this highlighted terms, you better remember, ma. In amplifiers, buffer, in operational amplifiers, etc. And next is FET has low inner modulation distortion, so it is used in mixer circuits in FM and TV receivers and communication equipment. And next, it is a low frequency drift, so it is used in oscillator circuits. Oscillators are nothing but the electronic device which generates signals. See, generally in our in ADE, we are right from unit 1, we are talking about signal and all. So those signals are being generated from a device or an electronic equipment called as an oscillator. Okay, an oscillator has no input but has only output, and these devices generate different kinds of waveforms: sine wave, square wave, step, ramp, etc. Okay, so by getting the signals from the oscillator only, we are going to drive many circuits. Okay, and FETs are used in low frequency amplifiers, in hearing aids and inductive transducers, as the coupling capacitor is small. And since FET occupying less space and easy to fabricate, it is used in digital circuits, in computers, LSDs or LCDs, and memory circuits. Okay, so the main part, this above applications are used in analog communications part, but the last one that we are seeing is of most important, because our next unit will be, we are dealing with the digital part. So in digital part, everything will be FET and MOSFETs. Okay, so we can say in today like the application of FET is nothing but in digital circuits. As of today, FETs and MOSFETs are used in digital circuits, because analogs are like they're not outdated, but we are using very less in number. Nowadays everything is digital systems or smart technologies. We generally use FETs, MOSFETs and CMOS. Okay, the integrated circuits, CMOS technology we are using. Okay, and next one, so the differences between N channel and P channel FET. So we already know that the classification of FETs is based on the channel material. So if the channel is made of N type material, then it is an N channel FET, and if the channel is made with P type material, then it is a P channel FET. Okay, so the differences is nothing but very simple. N channel means the majority carriers are electrons, and P channel means the majority carriers are holes. So that is the first difference we can say. So the current carriers in N channel JFET, the current carriers are electrons. In P channel FET, the current carriers are holes. And the second one will be the mobility of electrons is almost twice that of holes in P channel. Yes, generally the speed of electron mobility means speed. Okay, the speed of electrons is almost all high, very high, twice that of holes as compared to holes. Okay, so the mobility of holes is poor. And in N channel, low input noise, but in P channel we have a large input noise as compared to N channel, and the transconductance, that is GM, the conductivity we can say, the transconductance is very high in N channel because the mobility of electrons is very high, and in P channel the transconductance is very small. Okay. So this is the basic difference between N channel and P channel. Why I am discussing this is because you may get in previous question papers, we have got a question, these differences. In one question, 3 bits were there, differences between JFET and MOSFET, or BJT and JFET, and N channel and P channel FET. So that's the reason I am discussing this also. Okay. And the last one, see here, there are two diagrams, one representing JFET, the other representing BJT, and the 3 terminals and the 3 currents are being shown. So first, if we see for JFET, the current equation, that is the output current equation, is given as ID is equal to IDSS into 1 minus VGS by VP whole square. And here also, like 3 terminals, gate, source and drain. In the drain current, the direction you can see, that is nothing but the conventional current direction, and the gate current is taken as 0 amps because we initially there is no gate supply in the source current. And if you see the BJT diagram, the 3 terminals, base, emitter and collector are shown, and next the 3 currents are also being represented, and the output current equation, I hope you remember this, in the second unit we have learned, that is IC is equal to beta ID. So beta comes in which configuration? Can anybody tell me? Beta is the current amplification factor in which configuration? Common base, common emitter. Yes, C, very good. Okay, so this is common CE. This is common emitter configuration. In common base, what is the current amplification factor? It is represented as alpha. Yes, very good. Okay, so IC is equal to beta IB. And what is this VB? 0.7 volts. Can anybody tell me? VB is equal to 0.7 volts. Which material it is? Which type of transistor it is? Silicon. Yes. And this 0.7 is the cut-in voltage for silicon material. Yes. Okay, ma. So, and there are 3 equations written here. So for FET, the ID, the current equation is nothing but ID is equal to IDSS into 1 minus VGS by VP whole square, whereas the output current equation for a BJT is IC is equal to beta IB. And the second equation represents ID is equal to IS, means since source and drain in a FET are the 2 terminals taken from a same material or the same substrate. Okay, so we say that generally the source and drain terminals can be interchanged, and also the current, the source current is equal to drain current, or drain current is equal to source current, because the current flows from drain to source, the conventional current. And if you see the proportional relation in BJT, it is IC is proportionally equal to IE. Yes. Here we can't say that the output collector current is exactly equal to emitter current, because here we also have another current, that is base current. Okay, and the base current will be the minority carrier current. Okay, so because of some minority carriers injection and due to the internal operation of the BJT, we can't say that the output current is exactly equal to the input current. Okay, that is a point. So we have written here approximately, IC is approximately equal to the emitter current. And here if you see in the third equation, IG is approximately equal to 0 amperes. Yes, because we are not giving any VGS initially when we consider ID, but internal reverse bias will be there. Internal reverse bias will be there, and this VGS, if you see the gate to source is already connected to a supply with respect to drain. So there is a supply for source, but there is no supply for gate to source. Okay, so there is a small amount of supply between a gate and source junction, that diode. So we cannot say that it is exactly equal to 0 amperes. We can say that it is not ideally, IG is not correctly equal to exactly equal to 0 amp. It is approximately equal. to 0 amperes. And here the input voltage is what? VBE. The base emitter junction is nothing but a forward biased diode of a transistor. Okay, so that forward biased means if you want the electrons to cross their depletion layer, we need to give a cut-in voltage of the supply. So that voltage is nothing but 0.7 volts, the cut-in voltage. Okay, this is the voltage, input voltage we say. VB is equal to 0.7 volts, and this is for silicon. And if you are taking a germanium transistor, it is 0.2 or 0.3. Okay, so these three are like correlated equations between JFET and BJT. Just remember this. These will be helpful for writing the answers. Okay. So next we will move on to the next topic. Yes, now we are into the MOSFET topic. Listen ma, very simple. It is only the extension of your FET concepts. If you have understood the FET operation, principle, construction and all, then MOSFET is very simple. Not that much the characteristics are also not that much complicated. Okay, see them, go through the first point. MOSFET stands for metal oxide silicon field effect transistor, or metal oxide semiconductor field effect transistor, and this is also called as IG FET. IG meaning insulated gate field effect transistor. See, why it is called as an insulated gate? Because of the insulating layer of an SiO2 which provides high input impedance. Yes, what is this insulating layer and what is this high input impedance? Everything I'll explain. See here ma, there is an this insulating layer of SiO2 which provides high impedance. A layer of SiO2 is laid on the gate and drain and source terminals. That I'll explain when I show the construction of MOSFET. And because of this insulating layer, the MOSFET provides high input impedance as compared to JFET. JFET only we say that it has very high input impedance than BJT. So because of high input impedance only it is used as an amplifier, etc. But MOSFET is a device which has still more high input impedance as compared to FET. So that's why we will prefer MOSFET. Okay. So that is the main advantage of going to MOSFET as compared to FET. Next, the FET is operated in both this FET. Here the FET indicates MOSFET ma. Okay, so the FET is operated in both depletion and enhancement modes. Okay, and the metal oxide semiconductor field effect transistor, that is, it can be written as MOSFET, MOS-FET or a gap MOSFET, is a field effect transistor with an insulated gate. Okay, so this insulated gate is the main concept in MOSFET. We will see this, where the voltage determines the conductivity of the device. Yes, see, input voltage is controlling the output current, but here in MOSFET, this there is a voltage. That voltage determines the conductivity itself. Okay, so if you don't get this, if there is no voltage, then there is no conductivity. Okay, the conductivity will be 0, means that there is no channel at all. In FET, what happens? Channel is there, VDS if you give, ID will be flowing after some amount of time, and then the current flowing will be stopped or the ID will be reaching to the saturation level. That is the concept of FET. But in MOSFET, the current itself does not flow, means there is no channel at all. The channel is also created by this voltage. That is the concept. I hope I'll repeat this. See here, in MOSFET, if you give the voltage, then only the channel is created. Okay, the channel is created and conductivity takes place. Okay, so if you want the conductivity to occur or the flow of carriers to takes place, then the voltage need to be given. A controlling voltage is there. Okay, so if there is no voltage, no channel, no conductivity. Whereas in fact, channel is there and there is a separate voltage. Okay, if you give that voltage, then the current will be flowing. After some time, then the current will be stopped, and this controlling voltage can be used to control the output current. I hope you understand the difference. I'll explain again, no problem. But just understand that the voltage determines the conductivity itself. If there is no voltage, no conductivity, no channel at all. Okay, and it is used for switching or amplifying signals. The ability to change conductivity with the amount of applied voltage can be used for amplifying or switching electronic device. This is what you understand this point, ma. The ability to change conductivity. Yes, I can change the conductivity. That conductivity, the amount of conductivity is itself is in my hand. That is the speciality of MOSFET. You can create the channel, you can destroy the channel, you can increase the conductivity, you can decrease the conductivity. Okay, that is the stress. In fact, this was not the case. The channel was readily available and the current readily flows. And see here, MOSFETs are now even more common than BJTs. Okay, in digital and analog circuits, yes. So MOSFETs are used in digital and analog circuits. Next, a MOSFET is by far the most common transistor in digital circuits, as hundreds of thousands or millions of them may be included in memory chip or microprocessor. Yes, nowadays we are using all the smart technology now. Everything is digital. Okay, so in digital we use chips. Only the integrated chips are used. So in all integrated chips, we generally use MOSFETs or CMOS. Okay. And since they can be made with either P-type or N-type semiconductors, complementary pairs of MOS transistors can be used to make switching circuits with very low power consumption. This is very important. Low power consumption in the form of CMOS logic. Okay, so these are the basic important points regarding MOSFET. So MOSFET, first one is what? Insulating layer, SiO2. Next, here in MOSFET, the voltage determines the conductivity of the device and it has high input impedance as compared to FET. Next, and it can be used as in memory chip or microprocessor, and it has low power consumption, so it is used in CMOS logic. Okay, so remove now. So when we move on, go on with the topics, you will understand better. Okay, so MOSFETs have the characteristics similar to JFET and additional characteristics that makes them very useful. So there are two types of MOSFETs. One is depletion mode MOSFET, or it can be written as DMOSFET. And this depletion MOSFET operates in depletion mode the same way as JFET when VGS is less than or equal to 0, and operates in enhancement mode like eMOSFET when VGS is greater than 0. Next, in enhancement mode MOSFET, which can be also be called as eMOSFET, operates in enhancement mode where IDSS is equal to 0 until VGS is greater than VT. So here also we have got a threshold voltage. This threshold voltage is sometimes also called as pinch off voltage. Okay, so if VGS is greater than VT, then only our till that point only IDSS will be equal to 0. Okay, so there are mode and enhancement mode. So this is the classification of MOSFET. So depending upon the type, the MOSFET as shown in the following diagram. So that is MOSFET. enhancement mode. This is a classification. If a question asked, then you need to give the classification of MOSFET. So it is classified as two types. Types in the sense two operation. One is enhancement mode, the other is depletion mode. In enhancement mode, it is again two types, P channel and N channel. And in depletion mode, it is again P channel and N channel. Okay, so till here, is it clear all of you? Like, shall I move on to the further topics? We will move on to the operation of MOSFET. All these are basics. Is it clear to all? Oh, okay. Okay, ma. Because I need some response so that I can move forward. Next, ma. See here, the basic principle of operation. As I like in the definitions of MOSFET, we have already seen that the voltage is controlling the conductivity. Same thing is here. So voltage in the sense, if you give, and I am saying that an SiO2 layer is there, that is an insulating material is there. So if you are applying an electric field across an insulator, okay, then the thickness and the resistance of the conducting channel of a semiconductor can be controlled. It is a conductor, semiconductor can be controlled. So you can see here, by applying an electric field across the insulator, the thickness, and the resistance, width, the channel conductivity capacity, okay, the channel creation, everything will be controlled by the application of an electric field. Okay, so that is the basic principle of operation of a MOSFET. And in depletion MOSFET, the controlling electric field reduces the number of majority carriers available for conduction, whereas enhancement mode, the application of electric field causes an increase in the majority carrier density in the conducting regions of the transistor. See here, enhancement mode and depletion mode of operation both are opposite to each other. Okay, there is only a slight change. See, in depletion mode, the controlling electric field reduces the number of carriers available for conduction. Means in depletion MOSFET, the electric field reduces the conduction, whereas in enhancement MOSFET, okay, the electric field causes an increase in the carriers, okay, increase the conduction. So in depletion mode, the electric field reduces the conduction, and in enhancement mode, the electric field increases the conduction. This is the basic difference between enhancement MOSFET. Okay, so the conductivity can be increased or decreased. So in depletion mode, the conductivity is being decreased by the application of electric field, and in enhancement MOSFET, the electric field is increasing the conductivity by increasing the majority carriers. Okay, so this is the basic concept here. Now we will move into the detailed explanation. So first we will see about the enhancement MOSFET. So there are two modes now. The first one we will study enhancement mode MOSFETs. So this is the symbol of an enhancement mode MOSFET, or it can be represented as E MOSFET. See here, in E-MOSFET, there is no channel. There is no built-in channel. If you remember FET, there is a channel. Okay, readily a channel is available between the two P gate materials. Okay, but here there is no channel. Readily available channel is not present in enhancement MOSFET. Okay, so we have to create a channel in enhancement MOSFET. A channel is created when the external supply is given. Okay, so since there is no channel present in enhancement MOSFET, if you see the symbol of E-MOSFET, there are gaps. Okay, there is a break line. Okay, there is a break in between these lines. Okay, this represents the broken channel. Remember this, all of you. You may get a objective question in enhancement MOSFET. Since there is no channel available readily, we need to create a channel, okay, for conduction to takes place. So initially there is no channel. Since there is no channel, okay, this symbol, in the symbol it is represented as a broken line. Okay, so while drawing the symbols in the examinations, you should be very clear. For E-MOSFETs, you should draw the symbol as a broken line. Okay, and here a fourth terminal is also there, that is called as substrate. This SS. Okay, the SS is substrate. So substrate is also considered here as a terminal in MOSFETs, whereas this was not there in FETs and BJTs. Okay, so there are 4 terminals you can say, but officially, like technically it is only 3. We will explain the operation, characteristics, everything with respect to drain, gate and source. But while drawing the symbols, we will draw the substrate terminal also. And if the arrow on the substrate terminal is inside, then it is termed as an N-channel E-MOSFET. You should be very clear with this terminology. N-channel enhancement mode MOSFET. And if it is for a P-channel type, the arrow will be outside. That's all. Arrow will be marked outside on the SS terminal, substrate terminal. And here you can see another symbol also down, where the substrate terminal is combined with the source terminal. That's what I said. In technically, in some textbooks, it is taken as a as 3 terminals only. This SS like substrate terminal is combined with the source terminal. Okay, so no problem, anything is correct. Okay, nobody will cut marks if you draw this or that. Nothing will be like that. You can draw any symbol, but the main concept here is you should draw the broken line. Okay, you should not draw a continuous line like this. You should draw a broken line. Okay, broken line indicates that in enhancement MOSFET there is no continuous channel. We need to create a channel and induce the conductivity. That's the concept. So there is a point written here at the down. You can see, as there is no continuous channel in an enhancement MOSFET, this condition is represented by a broken line in the symbols. Okay, and this is a P channel. I said P channel, the arrow will be outside. So it is drawn here. So you can see the arrow, it is outside. Okay. Now, so we have come into the actual construction of it. See here, it is somewhat similar to FET, but slight modification in the doping of the materials and induction of N. See here, this black, this main rectangular box, this outside, this complete box is nothing but a substrate. Okay, this complete box is nothing but a substrate. Okay, so this red box, rectangular, nothing but a substrate. Understand the construction, half of the operation will be there in the construction. Okay, the main actual operation is very simple. Thing is, you need to understand the construction part very clearly, then it will be very easy. Okay, so there is a main rectangular box. It is represented as a substrate, and this substrate is p-type substrate. We are talking with respect to n-channel enhancement MOSFET. Okay, so it is the substrate is, so for n-channel the substrate is p-type, and there is a terminal taken out represented as substrate SS. This is one terminal. Okay, and in this p-type substrate there are two n-type semiconductor materials are induced, okay, or injected, you can say, during the manufacturing itself. Okay, so two n materials are induced in the p-type substrate, and this n regions are heavily doped as compared to n plus indicates heavily doped. Okay, heavily doped means we have more carriers readily available. Okay, so these two n plus material or n-type materials are diffused in p-type substrate, and this p-type substrate is lightly doped. Okay, next, after this we are coming, see, right from starting of MOSFET we are saying that an insulating layer is there, an insulating layer is there, which is of SiO2 we are saying. So what is that insulating layer? Here comes it. See this shaded box, the shaded box you can see here. The shaded box is insulating material which is layered over the entire substance into the p-type substrate, and over this entire substrate there is a thin layer of SiO2 insulating layer. Okay, now over this insulating layer, some metallic contacts are being taken out, some holes are being dug, and metallic contacts are being taken out to take the another two terminals. So internally this is, okay, using this metallic contacts. Okay, this is nothing but an aluminum metal can be used here. This black regions is nothing but a conducting material, metallic, and aluminum material is generally being taken. Okay, so over this some connections are taken out, some wiring are being taken out and taken as the terminals. One is source, so here in the down it is taken as the source, and above it is taken as the drain terminal. Okay, so three terminals is substrate terminal, and the other one is drain, the other is source, and over this metallic contact. So four terminals, but generally we will talk about what is drain, source, and gate. So gate, there is no connection of gate with the either with the n-type material or p-type material. This you should be very clear. Gate is generally a terminal taken from the metallic contacts over the substrate, that's all. And drain and source terminals are taken from both from n-type material only. Okay, so from p-type we have only a substrate terminal, that is also of least importance. Okay, the main operation depends on drain, gate, and source. So you can say that from p-type there is no terminal at all, only a substrate terminal is there, that's all. The main terminals are taken, drain and source are taken from n-type material, and gate is taken from the metallic contacts only. Okay, over the insulating material. So for the gate there is no contact with the n-type material or p-type material because there is an insulating material in between. Okay, so that is the construction part of an enhancement mode MOSFET, and you should be very clear that there is a written here one point, that is no channel. Yes, There is no channel between these two N regions. Yes, the channel. It is empty. Okay, so there is no channel between the two N regions. Here you can see there is no channel. Nothing is there. Only an insulating a p-type substrate. That's all. So there is no contact between drain and source. Okay. This is what the enhancement mode MOSFET. You may have a question, then if there is no contact, no channel, nothing is there, how the conduction takes place? That is what the operation that we will see now. Let's connect to the end-doped regions. These end-doped regions are not connected via an N channel without an external voltage. The gate connects to the p-doped substrate via a thin insulating layer of SiO2, and the end-doped material lies on p-doped substrate, that mesh-null terminal connection called SS. So whatever we have discussed is written in terms of points. Now we will see the operation of enhancement mode MOSFET. Now like it is like all the connections are being given to this enhancement MOSFET. So in the previous diagram it is shown like vertically. Now it is drawn in a horizontal manner for easy understanding. Given to the drain and source. See, always the same concept of FET. The drain is given and source is connected to the positive source, and it is represented as VDD. Okay. Connection ma, 1 second. Response. Is the voice audible now? Audible and clear? Okay. It was an internet issue. Okay. So now let us see the operation of an enhancement mode MOSFET. See here. As we have seen in the FET, the drain is given here also positive supply. Okay. And source is also given to the negative supply. And the p-type substrate N plus regions are being diffused in the p-type substrate, and the terminals are taken out, source and drain. Okay. And next this region is nothing but the SiO2 layer. insulating layer, and over this we have a metal contact we have seen in the previous diagram, that is nothing but an aluminium layer and aluminium conducting layer. So from this metallic region, a gate terminal is taken out. Okay, to this gate a positive supply is being given, that is called as VGG. And previously also I said that gate is not connected to any of the semiconductor material, means gate is not connected to neither N type or P type material. Okay, it is just take a terminal taken from a metal, that's all. And this insulating layer is nothing but an SiO2 layer. Okay, now we will see what happens, what is the actual operation of this MOSFET, enhancement MOSFET. See, when initially if you give, we are giving here a positive supply. If you compare this with the FET, VGS was given a negative supply, that is for the reverse bias case, but here it is somewhat opposite. So here the gate is given a positive supply to this metallic contact. So due to this, what happens, before that point, before that operation, I want to tell one more thing. See here, this is the gate, that metallic contact is one plate. We will consider this combination as a parallel plate capacitor. How? See, so this metallic contact is one plate of the capacitor, and this is an insulating layer which acts as a dielectric, and this channel, actually it is not there initially, but this the gap between this two N plus region is considered as another plate of the capacitor. So on a whole, this combination here, the combination is considered as a parallel plate capacitor. Okay, two plates of capacitor separated by a dielectric. Here dielectric is nothing but an insulating SiO2 material. Okay, so that is the first point we need to observe. And one more thing, the gate supply. Yes, now the operation, see here, when the gate is given a positive supply VGG, so what happens, some amount of positive charge is being accumulated on this one side of SiO2 layer. So due to this, what happens, an equal negative charge is being accumulated in between the two N plus regions. Okay, see, you can observe in the diagram, negative electrons are being deposited, and you should have a question now here. Question in the sense, see, the P type, the substrate is of P type material, so the majority carriers in P type are holes, and the minority carriers are what? Electrons. So holes are having positive charge, so here a positive charge is being accumulated. So this positive, because of this positive charge, the holes in P-type material gets repelled. Means all these positive charged materials will be moving away from the insulating material. Okay, this SiO2 layer, and because of this accumulation of the positive charge, the minority carriers, in P-type the minority carriers are electrons, and the electrons are negatively charged particles. They try to come near to the insulating material, that is SiO2 layer. So if you see on a whole, positive charges are deposited on one side of the SiO2 layer and negated on the other side of the SiO2 layer. Okay, so this forms a perfect capacitor. You can see here, plus positive charges on gate side, gate terminal, and you can see slight negative charged particles or carriers are deposited on the other side, like substrate side, beside the SiO2 layer, and these negative charged particles are accumulated in between the two N plus regions. If you observe here, in this two N plus region only, the negative charged particles are being accumulated. Okay, now if you give VDD supply is also given. Okay, so due to this VDD supply, what happens? Earlier, initially, there was no channel in the enhancement mode MOSFET. There is no channel. If you see the diagram, there is no channel here there is no channel, but because of in between the two n plus regions, there creates a channel. Okay, so this induced channel, you can see induced n channel in the sense electrons, because for n channel electrons are the majority carriers, so electrons are being deposited between the two n plus regions, so there creates a temporary channel for the flow of electrons. Okay, means these deposited electrons are creating a way for the electrons to move from source to drain. So when the electrons move from source to drain, when VDD is given, when you give this supply, the electrons will be moving from this source terminal to drain terminal with the help of this induced channel. Okay, and the conventional current will be flowing from drain to source in the opposite direction. That's why hence the current direction is from drain to source. Okay, that's all. This is the operation of enhancement MOSFET. See here, I'll explain once again. If you have not understood, just listen. Only 2 points are to be noted here. That is, VGG is given a positive supply. So when the positive supply is given, a positive charge is accumulated to the one side, to the gate terminal of SiO2 layer. And because of this accumulation of the positive charge, an equal negative charge will be accumulated or induced, like the charges will be accumulated to the other side of the SiO2 layer, that is insulating layer. And these charges, from where they are coming? You should get a question, from where these charges, negative charges are coming. They are not coming from any new place. They are present in the p-type substrate. See, p-type substrate, p-type means majority carriers are holes and minority carriers are electrons. Yes, those minority carriers are pulled towards the SiO2 layer. This, okay, so here the negative charges or negative minority carriers present in p-type material are attracted towards these positive charges. Okay, so on one side of SiO2 layer, positive charge we are giving, the user is giving. Okay, the user wantedly giving positive charge and accumulating positive charges on the gate terminal. So because of this accumulation, the equal negative charges are being pulled up, okay, dragged up. These negative charges are nothing but minority carriers of p-type substrate. They are dragged and accumulated near the other side of the SiO2 layer, that is in between these two n plus regions, so this forms a channel. So if there is no positive supply on gate, there is no channel for enhancement mode MOSFET. So that's why we have drawn in the construction part, there is no channel initially. The channel is created by the supply given on the gate. So hence the name for the MOSFET that we have seen, voltage controls the resistance and conductivity. So if there is no channel here, if there is no channel created, how the current flows? Okay, so that's why there is a slight change in MOSFET as compared to JFET. So in MOSFET, the voltage itself creates a channel. So if channel is created, then only conductivity takes place. Okay, so that is what happens. So this channel is present till the supply is on, VGG is on. If the VGG is cut or if the supply is removed, then the channel disappears. Okay, so this point you should be noted, ma. Like if as the channel will be the induced channel, this is not available from the starting. This is the induced channel. The induced channel will be present as long as VGG is available. Okay, so once VGG is removed, no channel, even though the VDD supply volt, there will be no flow of current because there will be no path between source and drain. Okay, so this is about the operation of an enhancement mode MOSFET. Next, see here the same points are being written here. See the graph, ma. So graph, the same graph represents enhancement operation as well as depletion mode operation. see here, VGS is given positive supply now, so the current is very high, and VDS is increasing, current is also increasing, and current is more increasing for more positive voltages on gate. Okay, and the exactly opposite is your depletion mode. So if you have understood enhancement mode, depletion mode is only difference is VGS will be negative, that's all. So the current will be reduced and slight changes will be there. Okay, so till here everyone have understood the operation of enhancement mode. The channel is induced, it is not available from the starting. The external voltage creates a channel. Okay, so I'll move to the depletion mode MOSFETs. So depletion mode, here in depletion mode, the first difference is that the channel is available readily. Okay, so hence in the symbol we have a continuous line. Okay, so in the symbol you should draw a continuous line while drawing the symbol of a depletion mode MOSFET. Okay, whereas in enhancement mode we have drawn a broken line, and here also the same 4 terminals, and for N channel the arrow is inside, and for P channel the arrow is outside. And the substrate can be drawn as a 4 terminals, as well as, or else you can combine substrate with the source. Next is see here the construction of a MOSFET. The only difference between MOSFET is here the channel is readily available. Okay, so you can see a clear channel here in between the two N plus regions. See here, this is the readily available channel between two N plus regions. This is the only difference between depletion mode. And this channel is nothing but N channel. So this diagram represents an N channel depletion mode MOSFET. Everything is same. The substrate is P, and the insulating material is SiO2, and drain, gate and source terminals are taken from the metallic layers, and regions are heavily doped as compared to P substrate. Okay. Next operation depletion mode MOSFET. See here, see the diagram. One difference what I said is depletion mode has the channel readily available, and here, and one more difference is negative. So the first enhancement mode and depletion mode is, in enhancement mode no channel, but in depletion mode channel is available, and in enhancement mode VG, whereas in depletive supply. Now see the operation here drain is also given a positive supply, and source is given a negative supply, and VGG is given a negative supply. So once this VGG is given, what happens? Same procedure. Here also the capacitor concept is there, and if you give negative supply to gate, so negative deposited on the gate terminal, near the gate terminal on the metallic layer. Okay, so because of the deposition of the negative charges on one side of the SiO2 layer, because the equal positive charge from the P-type substrate is attracted towards the SiO2, that's readily available channel. Then the electrons will be moving between two N N plus regions, that is from source to drain. So initially when you give VDD, the electrons will be moving from source to drain through the channel, and the conventional current will be moving from drain to source. But when these negative charges are being, the positive charges will be dragged towards this SiO2 layer which is inside the channel. Okay, this forms a depletion layer here. It's present in that the electrons are moving to conduct this output current, that is ID. Happening because of the application of negative supply on the gate, because of the negative charges depositing on the gate terminal, positive charges are being near the SiO2 layer between these two N plus regions, that is in the channel. Okay, so due to this, what happens? The depletion layer means you can see an arrow here like a shape kind of thing. See here, this path, but means from this region the charges which are present, the positive charges which are present are immobile charges, and they are depleting of the mobile carriers. Means these immobile charges are preventing the flow of electrons from source. Have you got my point, ma? See here, because of the deposition of positive charges at the end side, two N plus regions, that is in the channel, this depleted carriers are preventing the drain. These electrons are moving because of the application of VDD. Okay, so this is nothing but a depleted region. Okay, so we all know in depletion region we have immobile charge carriers. Okay, so if this gate voltage is increasing, the accumulation of positive charges is increasing. So if this is increasing, it is occupying the complete channel. Occupied by the depleted carriers, then there is no place for the electrons to move from source to drain. So if the electrons doesn't move, it will not flow from drain to source. Okay, so this point you need to understand that in depletion mode MOS, the negative supply is preventing the flow of current. It is decreasing the conductivity. Okay, and because of this accumulation, more like it is like the depletion region is like the channel is like a wedge shaped. See here, you can see the points. If VGS, second point, I'm going to just go through. If VGS is consisting of, is induced in the channel through SiO2 layer of the gate capacitor, of the positive charge causes depletion of mobile electrons in the channel. Okay, thus a depletion, and hence the channel will be wedge shaped as shown in the figure. Okay, and when VDS is increased, ID increases and it becomes practically constant at a certain level, is called as pinch off voltage. Yes, so even though if you increase VDS up to a certain point, after that, because of this depletion layer in the channel, the ID will be constant. It will not increase further. And the voltage at which ID is constant is pinch off voltage. So there is a like similarity between the pinch off voltage of FET and MOSFET also. So this here the pinch off voltage is also called as threshold voltage. Okay, and the drain current almost gets saturated on this pinch off voltage. Okay, so in enhancement mode MOSFET, the conductivity increases if we apply the external gate positive, whereas in depletion mode the conductivity is decreasing if you increase the supply, gate supply, the gate negative supply. Okay, so this is about your depletion mode operation. The same thing is here. Enhancement mode, in depletion mode you can operate both in enhancement mode as well as depletion mode. Means depletion MOSFET can be operated in both depletion mode or mode. Both modes you can operate. Only thing is you need to change the gate bias. If the gate bias is negative, then it is depletion mode. If the gate bias is, and that's why the depletion mode MOSFET is also called as dual mode MOSFET. Okay, so this facility is available only with the depletion MOSFET. Enhancement mode you can't do this. Okay, curve of ID versus VGS for constant called the transfer characteristics of MOSFET. So here this diagram shows the characteristics, transfer characteristics of MOSFET. So in this diagram we have both it shows the characteristics of enhancement MOSFET as well as depletion mode MOSFET. Okay, so VGS, when VGS is positive and increasing, the current is increasing. This is nothing but enhancement side. And if VGS is decreasing, then the ID is decreasing. This is nothing but depletion mode. So this is the graph ID. So this graph is called as transfer characteristics of MOSFET. Whereas the previous diagram here, this is called VI characteristic of MOSFET. In this diagram also we are showing the both the modes. And so if VGS is positive, it is enhancement mode, current is increasing as VDS is increasing. And if VGS is negative, it is the current is decreasing. See, the graphs are being fallen down to a low value. Okay, the current is decreasing even though if VDS is increasing. So these are the two graphs you need to consider. Okay, so if a question comes explain any one, depletion mode or enhancement mode, you need to draw these two graphs. Means these graphs represent both the characteristics. So you need to draw both VI characteristics as well as transfer characteristics. Okay. So the last point, last topic, differences between JFET. So JFET is operated in only in depletion mode because channel is readily available in depletion mode as well as enhancement mode. And for JFET, high input impedance approximately 10 mega ohms, whereas MOSFET is very high input impedance. And third point is gate is not insulated from channel in JFET, whereas in MOSFET gate is insulated SiO2, and JFET channel exists permanently, whereas in MOSFET channel exists permanently only in depletion type. In JFET difficult to fabricate than MOSFET, whereas MOSFET is easier to fabricate. And JFET drain resistance is high, whereas MOSFET drain resistance is less. Here in JFET gate is formed as a diode, and in MOSFET gate is formed as a capacitor. Okay, so this is for today. So I am ending the session, ma. So tomorrow you will have a quiz because our coordinators are insisting us to conduct the quiz, ma. Have a quiz for 15 to 20 minutes, and you will have quiz of JFET and MOSFET. Like yesterday's and today's topics only, we are going to conduct a quiz for about 20 minutes, 15 to 20 minutes. So all of you prepare all of you important points which I am highlighting most. Okay, so So do anybody have you can ask, ma. Today you don't have any, but tomorrow we'll have your, because I have not informed that we have a quiz today. So I'm not conducting today. Tomorrow I will conduct, and I'll conduct only on FETs and MOSFETs. Okay. So tomorrow you will have quiz. All of you learn for the quiz. And these quiz marks will be considered for your second assignment. The second mid assignment marks will be out of 5 marks. So these will take as the assignment marks. Yes, ma, I'll share the PPT.